Coming up tonight, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis non-committal when asked if he is planning on running for leader of the FNM. It's really just yes or no. Plus, former Attorney General Alison Maynard Gibson says more women are needed in Parliament. And Lady E doesn't just perform in the Bahamas, catch her in New York. Our Jerome Sawyer has the skinny in the arts and entertainment segment. Our News Weekend edition starts now. This is our News Weekend edition. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Megan Shepard. Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis addressing the discord within the FNM party that has been playing out in the public recently. I spoke exclusively with the former party leader who says the party is a family that experiences issues just like any other organization.
I'm an FNM, and I'm a part of that family. I'm a part of that marriage. From time to time, you may have disagreements in any marriage, and but it's never discussed outside. That stays inside, and that is my mantra. That is my view. That whatever happens within the FNM, that's an FNM business, and I don't discuss that outside. That's a family.
He also reiterated his support for the current party leader.
Michael Pendad is the leader. I respect leadership. He's the leader of FNM, so I support the leadership. I think we have one leader at any given time, and we must all support the leader.
And as it relates to rumors regarding his intent to seek leadership in the future,
I don't know what God has planned for me. Only God can answer certain questions. I don't know. I don't even know what will happen when I walk out of my constituency office here. It's all planned by God.
Well, amid talks of an increase to the national insurance rates, Bahamas Public Services Union President Kimberly Ferguson is suggesting the government deal with businesses that are delinquent in NIB payments first. His comments come after the state minister for national insurance painted a grim future for NIB if an increase doesn't come this year.
And we ask that the minister explore the avenues of enforcing those persons who are delinquent in their payments. We ask that they explore getting the government to be faithful in paying their contributions for the buildings that they're renting before we explore an increase, because the Bahamian people are extremely challenged. The cost of living is rising.
Ferguson, who is the president of one of the largest labor bodies in the country, says an increase would mostly impact workers making minimum wage. He's also suggesting the payment ceiling be removed.
There are persons, the ceiling I think is some $3,200 and something, whereas there are persons whose salaries exceed that. And if the ceiling were to be removed, I'm certain that the percentage payment would be equitable for all employees. The person that's making $900 cannot contribute the same percentage rate of contributions, while the person that's making $6,000 has at least $3,000 that is not being taxed.
Immigration Minister Keith Bell signing more than 100 repatriation permits this week for the deportation of illegal migrants in custody after landing in Bahamian waters. Bell says it's in an effort to avoid overcrowding at the Carmichael Road Detention Center, which can pose some challenges.
Obviously, as the situation in Haiti deteriorates, and even though persons are concentrating on Haiti, you would take note that over the last month or so, we have had more Cubans in custody than Haitian immigrants in our detention centers. And so it is more, the Haitian government cooperates more quickly than the Cuban government. And so the idea is to ensure that we work with both the Haitian and Cuban government to ensure that we get these persons who are in our custody at the detention center, we get them out, because from all indications we're going to continue to see an exodus from both those countries.
Meantime, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says police are not above the law, adding that civilians have a right to report officers by making a complaint if they feel they've been mishandled by law enforcement. His comments come following a brawl caught on video in Grand Bahama, where a group of men, including a police officer, could be seen attacking another man on the ground. Monroe adding that they're currently working on legislation for a force inspectorate for all of the security forces.
The force inspectorate would be somebody who would do audit checks of organizations to seek to help the head of the organization understand what may be structural weaknesses. When you get to be commissioner, commodore, commissioner of correction, director of immigration, it is often useful to have an independent person come and have a look. We are now considering bodies, that body to potentially be like in the COM in Jamaica, that can investigate also fully matters of serious complaints.
Just after the break, a former attorney general says more women are needed in Parliament for equal representation. And just on the heels of International Women's Day, the Women in IT department here at Cable Bahamas are inspiring other women. That's on the way when Our News Weekend edition returns.
At Doctors Hospital, our lamp just got brighter. The Loyalty Advantage membership program now has 3 unique plans to choose from. From Lamp Prepaid with free prime care visits and service line discounts, Lamp Insured with copay waivers and 0 upfront collections at the ER and inpatient services, or our new Lamp Access, a free plan that offers 10% off labs, pharmacy, and imaging. Lamp has a plan for everyone. To sign up, visit our website or give us a call. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now.
Welcome back. Former Attorney General Alison Maynard Gibson says we need more women in Parliament. At an International Women's Day roundtable, she told Our News that while she's happy that there are strong women in Parliament at the moment, there's still room for more of them.
I'm not in any way suggesting that a woman should be chosen simply because she's a woman. Obviously, we want qualified women. But what we should look at is whether or not the system is such that it makes it almost impossible for there to be equality or equity in relation to the 2 women being elected. And some countries have actually chosen to mandate that the parliamentary system, or the electoral system, has equality, an equal number, or they've stipulated a number of women that should be in Parliament. And I believe that it is important at this time in the Bahamas for us to start having that discussion.
Maynard Gibson adds that political parties have a part to play in the imbalance of representation as well, and that they play a part in guiding more women to the forefront of politics.
Political parties who are committed to the equality of women should be finding ways within their own organizations to really be sure to attract women.
As a part of Scotiabank's initiative to have consistent community outreach and in celebration of International Women's Day this past week, 5 of Scotiabank's female leaders visited PACE, which stands for Providing Access to Continued Education. PACE is a school for teen moms looking to continue their education. The Scotiabank employees spoke to the young ladies at the school about financial literacy, self-confidence, and the power of having hope and a vision for your future. They also addressed the importance of having a savings account and have promised to return to help them with the process. Scotiabank's Human Resources Director, Nadia Stubbs.
It's important that we are able to take care of ourselves. It's important that we can be economically resilient, and a savings account is a great way to start. We have junior savings account. It's a great way for people to learn how to save. We talked about just $1 a day, and the discipline in being able to do that. It comes with sacrifices, but when you begin to earn, you have purchasing power. But the purchasing power that you have really only becomes more and more fruitful when you save and you establish credit.
PACE Principal Patrice Miller says the empowerment exercises and personal finance lessons taught during the visit are invaluable to her students, as they may not have learned these things or had access to this kind of assistance elsewhere.
It is critical for our girls simply because a lot of our students are from homes where they're not taught the importance of savings or even at any level financial literacy. And so the presentation today taught them several things. One, about saving. Two, the importance of credit card, debit card. And like one of the presenters said, if you have $1, you save. If you can't save 75 cents, it may be more reasonable for you to save 10 cents. And so telling our children that small portions matter really makes a difference.
The Lead Institute recently researching and identifying several ways in which risk factors increase the likelihood of gang members in the country. President of the organization, Troy Clark, explaining more in the recent study during a press conference in Grand Bahama this week.
These risk factors span all 5 social developmental sectors: family, peer group, school, individual characteristics, and community conditions. Risk factors associated with youth gang involvement are inclusive of prior delinquency, meaning that young people missing school, drug trafficking or substance use, illegal gun ownership, antisocial attitude, aggression, early or precocious sexual activities.
He also shared that these risk factors can be mitigated with protective factors.
Parental involvement and monitoring, family support, coping skills and interpersonal skills, positive social connections, peer support, academic achievement, and reducing delinquency, alcohol, and drug use.
This week we celebrated International Women's Day, where we spoke to some of the top IT ladies at the Cable Bahamas group of companies. While we discussed their roles and the realities of being a woman in tech, we're going to look at something we haven't revealed yet, their inspiration for joining the field. Here's Marlena Leonard with that side of the story.
Robin Roll, Lakita Adderley, and Tanya Bain are the women behind a lot of what happens on your screens. We've talked about their roles and the realities of working in tech. Now we're sharing what inspired them to join the field. Application and Support Development Specialist Tanya Bain tells us it was her aunt's home computer that inspired her interest, which started with her playing solitaire and developed into an interest in coding.
I think I was in grade 3, and my aunt, she had a computer in her room, and it was like those old big white computers, and I was just fascinated to turn it on and to play solitaire. And it evolved from solitaire to trying to pull it apart, trying to code it, playing around with phones. And then from there, the passion just grew, and digital became an idea that I wanted to pursue on a greater level.
Application support lead Robin Roll tells us computers only became an interest to her toward the end of high school, when their first computer had the campus buzzing with excitement.
And I think the newness of it, the conversations around what this would have meant for the Bahamas, for the way life was going to turn into, that intrigued me. Like, wow, something new is coming, and I want to be a part of that. So I did what I guess any crazy person would have done. I went off to college and I studied computers. Had no background in it, no nothing. And just being there, something new, I started to love it. I mean, how does it work? Why does it do what it do? Why, and just the ability of it now to connect everything. I wanted to be that thing that everybody needed. I wanted to be the one who has the answers to bring everybody together.
As for IT project manager Lakita Adderley, her passion for the field was so strong, she became the person introducing the world of tech to future generations.
I've loved computers, I've loved tech pretty much my whole life. I recall getting from my graduation gift a V60. Oh, you couldn't talk to me. Like, you could not. My sister purchased me a V60 for my graduation gifts at the age of 15. I graduated high school at 15. And you could not talk to me. I was that girl with my V60. And that blossomed into, like I said, I was an educator. I taught IT. So just being able to see my students' faces light up when the light bulbs actually go off.
Women are greatly underrepresented in tech, with some research saying women only hold 15% of engineering jobs, and that black women come in at only 2.2%. But on the bright side, it means there's room for you to be one of the next best and brightest women in tech. Reporting for Our News Weekend Edition, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Very much inspiring stories. Thanks, Marlena. When our news weekend comes back from the break, the fete continues. Officials talk about the return of Bahamas Carnival experience. And imagine writing a song 2 decades ago and hearing that it was performed in top-notch style in another country. We have the details when our news weekend returns. Stay close. So much for sticking with us. Welcome back. Carnival lovers rejoice. This May 18th through the 21st, the fete continues as Bahamas Carnival experience returns in grandest style. Principal of Palantra Media Group, His Excellency Sebastian Bastian says, in addition to its significant economic boost, Bahamas Carnival also helps to diversify the tourism product.
There's no shortage, or there's not enough of, for better words, of entertainment tourism in the Bahamas, and I think this staple event that we have here called Bahamas Carnival is one that is very important to our national development, very important for our tourism product, and definitely very important to the growth of our economy.
Former president of the Band Owners Association, Dario Torelli, adding that the event also draws in thousands of spectators.
We counted about 23,000 people and spectators. So that's a great opportunity, and the road is designed to give vendors an opportunity to make money also.
This year, the Rising Stars competition returns and even gives musical bands an opportunity to participate. Trevor Davis of the Palantra Media Group explains.
We ask young Bohemian artists to produce their songs and submit their songs, and we have a judging contest and see who's going to win the competition. And so we're happy to have that back, and also we went a step further by including the band competition.
One of the head judges, Nehemiah Heald, explains how it all works.
It's a competition where young aspiring songwriters and entertainers can participate through entering as much as 3 songs of not more than 4 minutes long for an opportunity to make the finals and win up to $10,000 as a grand prize. The second place prize would be $5,000. The third place prize winners will get a professional recording session with a qualified producer or engineer.
The deadline for entries is March 31st. Now, if you want to attend the grand relaunch, the nation's flag carrier will be offering flight specials. Wilfred Mulling says their job is pretty simple.
Providing safe and reliable air transportation for all the participants coming to enjoy the weekend of Carnival, Bahamas Carnival. We will be offering special rates for that particular weekend, packaging, and we are always happy to join Corporate Bahamas in partnering and sponsoring events like this.
Senior Portfolio Manager for Commonwealth Brewery, Queswell Ferguson, says they will also be helping to kick the event into high gear.
We are expanding our brand participation, namely to include local favorites and global brands, Hennessy, Heineken, and Guinness. And within that mix of products, we're going to introduce a brand new and exciting product that we think will match the youthfulness, the fun, and the vibrancy of Bahamas Carnival.
If you were to drive past the eastern side of the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, you would notice lots of work being done in the area just beyond road traffic. And that's because a Caribbean cultural village is being set up in preparation for the 50th Carifta Games. Sasha Lightbourne has the story.
For the first time, we are creating a Caribbean cultural village. We decided, because of the 50th anniversary for the Games, we wanted to do something out of the box.
That's Chief Executive Officer of the local organizing committee of the Carifta Games explaining what you see on the eastern side of the stadium. And he goes further to explain what the setup will be for that cultural village.
It's going to take the format of an international food festival where we have vendors from the diaspora from the region, Jamaica Association, Hummingbirds, Barbados, Haiti, And so we want to, in particular, our Jamaican brothers and our Haitian brothers and sisters, to please come out because you are participating in the games.
And not just Jamaicans and Haitians, Maycock wants all those from the region to come and be part of the cultural village.
We are catering to our Haitian brothers, our sisters, our Jamaican brothers and sisters, our Barbadian, Trinidadian, the whole diaspora, Turks and Caicos for these games.
There's even more that will be happening in that cultural village as well.
This is also going to be where the official opening ceremony of the games will be held. Okay. And so if you look to that's why the bleachers, that's right. Yeah, we're creating an amphitheater to set up to about 3,000 to 5,000 people for the opening ceremony. And believe me, Sasha, that opening ceremony, we're taking it to the next level.
Reporting for Our News Weekend, I'm Sasha Lightborn.
This past January, the Cable Bahamas group of companies launched its Lose to Win campaign. Since then, the company has hosted a number of health-focused initiatives. And this morning, we kicked off our first ever Fun Run Walk Push. Company chairman Franklin Butler says it's all about getting healthy in a fun way. Meantime, CEO of Alive, John Gomez, says he was pleased to see the level of involvement by employees across the country.
It's really about our employee wellness. At the end of the day, as we go through the pandemic, all that we've been through, there have been a lot of demands on employees, and so we wanted to be as fit and as healthy as possible. So we thought our best to do this than to have a community, a company-wide initiative that really would allow all of us to just have some fun, build some camaraderie, and to lose weight.
This is fantastic. I mean, we had a turnout here in Providence and also in Grand Bahama as well, and some of the other islands as well. So it's really great to see this spirit come together across the entire company. But for me, it was very important for all of the team members to be out here because it creates such a fun environment for bonding and to make sure that everyone have a fantastic time, and also for the health reasons as well.
Employees from various departments competed in different categories, including a 5K run or walk and a 10K run or walk. Race winners Douglas Palacios and Deandra Lang Hull say they had a great morning competing with colleagues.
I mean, I had to represent for Alive Vibe, so and I just work out every day, so I had to come and represent for.
Okay, well, this morning was pretty good. The weather was nice, the route was fine, and I just wanted to be a part of the Gay Bahamas family, and give back to the team.
More than 2 decades after writing an anthem in the local gospel arena, Oslin Jadort's Came to Praise was heard in a megachurch in Dallas, Texas this past Sunday. The worship leader turned gospel artist says the surprising revelation has given him the push he needs to move forward. He had a sit down with our Berthany McDermott. Here's his story.
If you came to praise him, let me see you lift your hands, say, yes, I'll praise him, oh yes.
If that song sounds familiar, that's because it was originally written in 1999 by Bohemian gospel artist Oslin Jadort.
If you came to praise him, let me see you lift your hands, yes, I'll praise him, oh yes.
This past Sunday, the song, which was one of Jadort's first songs, was sung by gospel recording artist Jeffrey Golden in the Potter's House in Dallas, Texas, the church of T.D. Jakes. Jadort says he found out from a Facebook friend that morning.
It was a pleasant surprise. I don't care how long you've been doing this, but when you have work out there that other artists or colleagues of yours, especially those in international scale, have some level of appreciation for, it's really a blessing, man. It's humbling.
While the song was written over 20 years ago, Jadort says he didn't record the song until 2005. The Bohemian gospel anthem has become a staple locally, as many churches lean on this song as a go-to for Sunday morning worship. He says hearing his work sung on such a major platform was encouraging.
Because sometimes during this journey, when you're an artist, a worship leader, sometimes it could really kind of get a little bit hectic, and sometimes it seems like the work that you're putting in, and sometimes it feels as if, it's not gaining a lot of traction, but this kind of encourages you to let you know that, hey, you're on the right track.
Jadort has since released another album with more hits. hits. As for what's next for the worship leader, Mash Down with Aaliyah Cooley. Set to be released March 19th, he's predicting this will be another anthem.
We are releasing a single, Leah Coley featuring myself. It's called Mash Down. It's a real fun song produced by Rick Carey. It's going to be released on March 19th. I really wish persons would really kind of get on that banner. It's another anthem. I love anthems.
He had this for other Bohemian gospel artists.
First of all, if you're really and truly called to this area of ministry, you don't do it for applause. You don't do it for recognition. You do it because you're called to it. And if you're truly called to it, those that need to see or will see what it is you are putting out there, eventually they will do it.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks so much, Berthany. Needing to know if you should snuggle up in a blanket or take out those swim trunks? Well, the weather report is on its way. Stay close. And local entertainer Lady E performs in New York. Our Jerome Sawyer has the details when Our News Weekend Edition returns. Welcome back. District Grand Lodge of the Bahamas Scottish Constitution answering the ongoing call for blood donations in the country. Substitute District Grand Master Dave Monroe says this morning's blood drive is an annual partnership with the Princess Margaret Hospital to assist those in need. He says this year the goal is to garner some 50 pints of blood.
Our country is in need of persons to come out and assist. The District Grand Lodge of the Bahamas Scottish Constitution, our main objective is to assist brotherly love, relief, and truth. I believe that the country needs to come out and assist and support where necessary. We must show that support and give credence, give reverence to those who are healthy, who can give more. We must give more.
Cooler temperatures this week, heating up a bit today. Let's see what's in store for us weather-wise. Music of the Bahamas is an important part of the tourist experience, but why should they have to wait to come here to hear it? The Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board recently met with a number of media travel writers to showcase the many offerings available. Renowned entertainer Lady E gave the event just the right touch. Our Jerome Sawyer spoke with her while in New York.
Every so often, Erica Simonet, known as Lady E, finds herself on an international stage, sharing the music of the Bahamas. It's a job she takes quite seriously.
I think about my country. I think about what it means to be an ambassador. I think about, how can I do my part to promote the Bahamas to the world? It's a sense of pride. It's a sense of duty. It's a sense of responsibility that comes on me, and I just consider it a blessing. So whenever I'm able to represent my country, I try to do it to the best of my ability.
And an audience of media travel writers got quite a performance recently at a familiarization event hosted in New York by the Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board. The event was a mixture of presentations, food and cocktail displays, along with great entertainment courtesy of Lady E. She believes Bohemian music is the perfect blend to expose audiences to the real culture.
I think our music is very palatable. I think it's very diverse, where persons from all over the world once they listen to it, look at Junkanoo. You know, they come from all over the world and they don't know about Junkanoo, but as soon as they listen to it, they gravitate towards it, they gyrate to it, they love it. So I look at our music as just something, as an invitation for persons to get to know how we in the Bahamas, you know, how we sing, what is our culture.
And while great beaches and authentic cuisine and exquisite hotels may be a huge draw for tourists, Lady E believes there's a prominent place for music in the overall experience.
Bahamian music is powerful. I think that we have something so unique that the world has not really discovered. I think that we've had little touches of it here and there, the T Connections, the Bahamans, you know, we've had Tony McKay go out there and show the world what we have to offer, but I think we need to be consistent with it, and I think we need to more or less have more artists jump in and let the world know, hey, not only can we do one style of music, but we can introduce and fuse different portions. Like you have some Bahamian soca-esque music, you have some Bahamian rake and scrape with a little touch of reggae in it, you know, like you'll hear D-Max saying back that bam bam, you know. So I think that we need to continue along that vein, but we've had persons before us go out there and bring attention to Bahamian music, but I just want to continue that for myself.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jerome Sawyer.
And just before we go, remember to set those clocks forward 1 hour before you go to bed. Yes, it's time for daylight saving time. Thank you so much for joining us for Our News Weekend Edition. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard. Enjoy the rest of your evening.